Welcome to the Swirl Suite, everybody. So we had to refer back to an old school. We had to go old school. And we are back. I don't know if you can tell with the sound quality, but we are back on Google Hangouts just for today. We had some Skype issues, it happens. But I'm glad we
Wouldn't let
had
us be
plan
great.
B. I'm telling
Right.
you, I'm glad we had plan B. Just
I was
saying,
gonna pick up one of my empty soup cans with a string. They'd be like, Sarita, can you hear me? Hello.
Oh my
Is this thing on?
goodness.
I had to take it all the way back.
I'm Sarita. You can follow me at Vine Me Up on all social media, even Snapchat. You can also follow the Swirl Suite on all social media, even Snapchat. Tanisha, Girl Meets Glass,
Yes.
back from Serbia. How are you?
Back from Serbia. I'm good. I would say I need a little more rest.
Okay.
Man, whenever you go on group trips, it
Oof.
is so much packed into a day.
There's exhausting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I regularly come back from these trips like, I don't want to drink any more wine.
Oh.
So like tonight, I've had all water.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Coffee.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
I'm like, let me just
Is there
hydrate.
a time? Is there a time difference in Serbia?
I think it might have been an hour, maybe.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But not,
Gotcha.
Nothing crazy. Like that wasn't the problem. It was just, all right, the bus is leaving at 7:30. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I want to make sure I get the free breakfast, and then we have a 3-hour ride out to somewhere, and then we do that thing, and then we sit on the bus for an hour, and then we go see something, and then we sit on the bus for 2 hours and go see something else. I mean, I get it. They want to show us the best of what they have all at once. Like, show them everything. Show them this and this and this and this. And it's like, okay, sensory overload. Help.
Before I get into my Serbia questions, I wanted to tell you about my weekend.
Please.
So, it was
the
nothing.
Homecoming part and your wanting to go pouch?
Yes. Okay.
I'd love to hear about that.
So this was nothing compared to yours. However, it was busy. It was a lot of jumping around. Okay, so this weekend was Morgan's homecoming. I'm Morgan alumni. But Friday.
HBCU. Sorry.
Okay. So Friday, me and Alan went to District Distillery. That's where he took me to dinner there for my birthday last week. But they had a private event, so we couldn't do the tour like we planned to. So we did the tour on Friday, this past Friday. And I was pretty impressed. And they are very impressed with themselves. They are very confident about their liquor. And I understand it was pretty good. We ended up getting the gin, but they took us to the tour and show us all the, how they make everything. And one thing, now maybe you have heard of this, but in order to make their gin, they use vodka. They start out with vodka and then add all of the herbs to make gin. They would say, and I said, oh, well, I don't really know. I'm not really a huge gin person, but what do they typically start out? What do they typically start out with? And the guy was like, well, most people use just like a grain alcohol, whatever, something they got lying around or whatever. Then they add all the flavors that adds gin, the juniper and all of that stuff. And he was like, we use our own vodka. I was like, oh, interesting.
Very interesting.
So
that's why gin is better.
And the gin was good.
If vodka was like a bomb liquor, they wouldn't have to add anything to it.
Right, exactly.
Like you are adding stuff to it to make it a whole new liquor.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So
that's what we bought. We bought the gin, so that was fun. And their happy hour is outstanding. My God. Listen, after we did the tour, we went upstairs to their bar. It's a very sexy place. It's very sexy. So that industrial sexy kind of thing.
See, you making me, I'm gonna have to stop through DC and see what y'all doing.
I'm telling you. So we got to the bar and they've got the happy hour situation. And after all of after the tour, so the tour is $15. You do the little tour and it's probably like 30-40 minutes. And then you do the tasting after. So after all that liquor or whatever. So, and they had a grappa too. Yeah. They're the
Concrete
real deal.
District Distillery.
Yeah. So we went upstairs to the bar and did happy hour, and I got a glass of wine, and they have a whole chicken biscuit.
I'm sorry,
For
what now?
a whole chicken biscuit and I'm not talking Chick-fil-A biscuit. I'm talking about your grandma.
Even though I'd be perfectly fine with a Chick-fil-A
no,
biscuit.
No, I'm talking about curved over, homemade, crust on top, buttery, flaky, big old fried piece of thigh meat on a biscuit, and serve local honey on the side with pickles. Man. So you got, I said, well, okay. Okay. Yeah. So District Distillery, shout out. Y'all are all right with me. Yeah. Okay. Fantastic. Yeah. So the next day, me and Alan went to Morgan's homecoming. So we do homecoming a little different. So Alan has a friend who also went to homecoming, and he's older, and he's a little more steady. So they stay in one spot. Like, if you've never been to a Black homecoming, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. I mean, and the thing is, it doesn't include the game. It's everything outside of the game. So it's, you go to the yard and you walk around, and different people have different, it's not even like tailgates. It's like little mini cookouts all over the place. So anyway, so Alan is one spot, and me and my homegirls, we just sort of walked around, and
let me just stop you right there, because that's where you all met, right? College or after?
We did not. He went to Loyola. That's another school in Baltimore. That's but that's a whole another story. We're both from this. Sorry. Anyway, so long story short, I was following the Anacostia Vodka dude. I think his name is Ramon. Anyway, he posted on Instagram days before that he was going to be at Morgan's homecoming. I was like, oh, that's what's up. Let me know where you're going to be. And he was just like, all right, DM me around 4:00. Anyway, I DM'd him, and he was like, yeah, I'm here. I couldn't find that dude to save my life because it's dark by now. So it's probably like 6:30, 7:00, and it's getting dark. Everybody's got their drinks already. And but I had my little pouch, and I filled it with sparkling rosé. So that was my little wine to go pouch, the little plastic flask.
You better MacGyver yourself into.
So, and actually, my mom gave me that as a gift. She was like, I saw this. I thought you could use it. I said, well, thank you.
Right. You know what I need.
You know what I need. So anyway, I eventually found this Anacostia Vodka dude, and the cocktail in the little Capri Sun pouch, it was so colorful with the fruit and everything. It's a little too sweet for me, but I appreciated it, and it looked good, and it looked good on camera. Pictures you can check on my Instagram. But I do want to taste the vodka without anything. I need to taste it naked in order to have a proper judgment of it. But anyway, he was out there hustling. He had his little cooler, and he was dressed all slick with the beard and everything. Small guy, but he was cute. And so anyway, so he's been hustling, and I appreciate it. But I need to taste the vodka by itself. One more story. I went to the Virginia Wine Fest on Sunday.
Okay. And you went to the Maryland one as well.
So listen, let me tell you how the Virginia one has now become Wine in the Woods.
Oh no.
You heard me right. No, I don't know. This wasn't a huge one. This one is always held at Bull Run in Centerville, Virginia. So they brought it to Alexandria. So they move locations. So it's a lot more accessible at a smaller venue. Even though it's on the water, it's smaller. So you got smaller tents. You got less people pouring wine. So you got all this concentration of people. So the lines to taste wine was insane. It was insane. Not only that, but they did this thing where you had to buy food tickets to get food. So I'm a
I
stand in
hate
this.
it when they do that. Like I gotta stand in line to get a ticket, then I gotta stand in line to get food too.
And they probably do that for accounting purposes, just to see how much money they made. They probably get paid a certain amount per ticket. Makes sense, but it makes it a horrible experience for the customer that's coming.
Customer gotta wait in line.
We were really annoyed. We were so annoyed where we didn't want to taste any more wine. It wasn't fun because it was taking too long, and it was hot. So luckily, I recognized some of the wineries that that were there. So I was like, listen, we're gonna get an Albariño from here, and boom, they make great reds. So we got some bottles, and we just sat by the water, and that was that. But you talk about a downfall. Like we always had fun in the previous years, but yeah, and we went on a Sunday.
Yeah. Oh, and Sunday used to be the day you could actually go.
Yeah. I don't know what changed. I don't know why they decided to make changes, but it was not great. It was not great because I could have did that in my backyard. I could have did that in somebody's backyard who had a fire pit.
Right.
Just saying. So, anyway. On to you.
Sorry to hear that.
It's okay.
But so now comparing that to like the Maryland Wine Festival, since you attended that as well, you think the Maryland one is still kind of okay, or is that going a different way too?
No, I think the Maryland one is pretty consistent, but if you don't do VIP, then you're gonna be drinking sweet wine the whole time. Oh, I forgot to mention that at the Virginia Wine Fest that I went to on Sunday, all of them bought their sweet wine and their sangria and their cider and all that stuff. So
they're going down that path.
Right. Okay. They are going down that path. Exactly. So they want to bring it closer to the city where people can, get a little more loose, Uber home, and go home roasted. So
it's like a whole different kind of event.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it felt like.
Virginia thing, sweet wine, like that was never them making a whole bunch of sweet wine. That was always a Maryland thing.
Nope, not anymore. Yeah. Aww. Yeah. So I don't know what that was about, but yeah. Oh, and I saw Stubb there. Stubb was there.
Stubbs. How's he doing? I haven't seen or heard anything from him in a while. Is he doing some other kind of? Are him and Jen still doing their thing?
Yeah. Yeah, they're still doing their thing. Yeah. Yeah, I talked to him for a little bit. Him and his wife were there, I think.
Okay.
And
you think? All right. Don't be putting that on blast.
I've only met her once.
It is somebody. No.
Stop it. I've only met her once. That's the only reason why I say that. No, but I know he loves his rib. I know he loves his rib. So
I ain't trying to start nothing.
But
start nothing, won't be nothing.
So yes. So I need to know about Serbia. And my first question is
okay, good. I'm like, I hope you have questions instead of just freestyling this.
Right, okay, girl, because you be freestyling for hours.
Oh my God, that just sent me clean up out of
here. So said, what was it?
Don't talk, just listen.
What was the energy like? Like sort of like when you stepped off the plane and started to walk around, how did it make you feel? Was it similar to Europe?
So since Serbia is like Eastern Europe, it's like a whole different kind of feel, different kind of vibe. And it's not the difference between like the West Coast and the East Coast of America, but it's like that kind of idea of it's just different.
Okay.
Also, whenever you think about Eastern Europe, you have to remember like they went through war.
Sure.
And, in recent years, like, had serious issues. Like, I mean, not necessarily our lifetime, but kind of. So, you can still, sometimes you get like a feeling of that. Like when I was in Poland, I definitely was like, oh, y'all for real had a war here.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Y'all ain't over it yet because y'all ain't cleaned none of these buildings up. Y'all ain't patched up these holes yet. Like y'all have done nothing. But then you also notice it and they use the other alphabet. They use the Cyrillic alphabet. So I'm like, people are like, oh yeah, this is the name of our winery. I'm like, these aren't letters though. What are these things? I'm like, and they're like, yeah, it's winery. It was one, and I'm taking pictures of it, and I had to ask somebody. I was like, what's the name of this winery? Where are we? Because I don't know this alphabet. I'm sorry. I'm like, I just know the English one. If you want to talk about these letters, that would be awesome. So it's just different. Also, one thing I will say from the difference between Eastern Europe and then like kind of like where I am, Central, Western Europe, whatever. Mm-hmm. Eastern Europe is a lot more like done up. Like their hair done, nails, like everybody got nails.
Really?
Painted, heels, you know, slim pants, leather jackets, red lipstick, you know, mascara, just done. Wow. Dressed up all the time.
Okay.
You come to Paris, girl, these people got on little flowy dresses, hair like they just woke up.
It's a relaxed style, though, that y'all have in Paris.
It is. It is very relaxed, but it doesn't look like trash. Like, it doesn't look like they just woke up. Like, it's the, like, makeup, no makeup look.
Yes,
like, it's a very cool, chic look, yet effortless.
Okay.
And it is very hard to recreate that. So I was like, I'm not even gonna try no more. I'm just gonna live my life and be the American in Paris. But yeah, Eastern Europeans very done up. So we're talking. I didn't notice it as much in Poland since I didn't like go out. But Romanians, Serbians, who else was there? Hungarians. They all had that kind of feel.
Interesting. Yeah. What was the weather like?
Oh, it was nice. The weather was nice. Yeah, it was in there. They were like, yeah, it's gonna be in the 20s this whole time. I was like, yep, that means nothing. So looking it up, it was like in the high 70s though.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So it was nice.
Very nice.
Yeah, I had a jacket, and I mean, even at night, I didn't really need it.
Oh wow.
There were some times like we did a river cruise, and so it was nice to have my jacket on since we were on the water. But that's it.
All right. So yes, give us the rundown. What'd you do? Where'd you go? How's food? How's wine?
Okay. So the rundown, and it's funny. I think I still have the schedule up. Boom, and let me take a look at it. So it started with we met in the town like square. It's this man on a horse, and we did a walking tour. The guy who organized the trip, he took us on a walking tour. So we walked all around, you know, dope little area, nice to see stuff. They have this mall that was there, and it's like a lot of restaurants that were behind it and bars and things like that. And so we walked all through there. It was a super cute area. I wish that we could have like maybe had dinner there or like had drinks or like hung out there. But that was not the situation. We went to the BYOB dinner after that, which the restaurant is called Steak and Wine. So clearly this is going to be a place that was for me. So everybody's bringing wines from their country, from their region.
Oh, that's nice.
Wines that they really like. I bought a wine at the airport because I didn't check a bag. Because I'm like, I'm not paying €35 to check a bag of, you know, wine. Just to check, you know, my wine, just to bring the wine. So it was ended up not even drinking the wine the whole rest of the weekend. So there's that money, but whatever. So the dinner was cool. Walked around, you know, seeing everybody because some people didn't go on the walk. Some people I didn't get a chance to talk to then. So that was nice. The food there was just like charcuterie and cheese, and then some of their meat rolls. And by meat roll, just think of like a sausage.
Oh,
so think of like Jimmy Dean type sausage, not like an encased sausage.
Why is it like a roll? Because it's in like a cylinder kind of thing?
It's not. It's just the way it's shaped.
Oh, okay.
So you know, like how Jimmy Dean, those kind of sausages is how it's shaped in like
pigs in a cylinder.
But not like encased like a hot dog.
Okay, got it.
So like if you rolled up a sausage in your hand, but made it a roll, not a patty.
Got it.
So like that kind of thing. It was like that. So not bad. The next day was our early morning. We met, so all the departure points were from the hotel. Nice hotel. It was a Holiday Inn.
Okay.
Super cute, clean, free Wi-Fi, free breakfast. We were good.
Okay.
Let me rewind just right quick to this breakfast part though. So overall, breakfast was fine. But when you tell me you had roasted bacon and I see these little thin shavings of meat that might have been bacon before, number one, you don't roast bacon.
Like roast bacon bits.
I mean, it was like prosciutto thin.
Oh, okay. That's not what I expected.
No, so I got 2 pieces. Then I was like, we're not gonna eat this anymore. Leave this here. But they had some roasted vegetables. They had scrambled eggs, fried eggs, little.
Wait, so did
sandwiches.
You eat the eggs? Because I know you said Europe is real funny about their egg situation.
They are, but these eggs looked right.
Okay.
They were solid and whole. They weren't super runny, and they weren't too hard. So they did a good job with the eggs.
Great. Okay.
Coffee was just okay, but I mean, I expect that out of hotel coffee most of the time. They had an espresso machine, so I'm like, that was kind of legit. And then they had a bunch of pastries.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know, I'm a slight bread snob. Once I get over the fact that, okay, this is not a French croissant, you need to take it for what it is. This is a croissant in this country. It was fine.
Okay. Got it.
So there's that. So we left at 7:30. Well, supposedly 7:30. Of course, it was a little after that because it's a group. And we were going on a cruise on the Danube River. So all hype about that. Well, wasn't hype when we got on the bus and realized this was a 4-hour ride.
Ooh.
So there's that.
So
I had an eye mask. I went to sleep.
Oh, you went to sleep. I was about to ask, what y'all do the whole time?
Right, because, you know, I knew like 2 people, 3 people maybe, and I wasn't like sitting next to them to be able to talk to them. So, because I actually ended up sitting in the back of the bus, and you know, I already have a problem sitting in the back of the bus most time because like we fought really hard to be able to sit in the front.
I thought you was about to say you get morning sickness. Sorry, I meant like motion sickness.
Right? Can you not put my business out there? No, what's crazy is I actually I don't have any problem with, you know, getting motion sickness or reading in a car or on a bus, like how some people have that. That's not my story. Christina does. Okay. So I was actually sitting in the front of the bus, but then when her and her boyfriend got on, and there weren't any seats for them because they wanted to sit together. She was like, okay, we'll just go to the back. I just have to make sure I don't throw up. I was like, well, is this seat okay? You can just sit here. So I let her sit in my seat that was closer to the front. Then I went all the way to the back. Okay. When it actually worked out because the seats reclined back really far. Oh. And so there weren't that many people sitting in the back. So I reclined my seat all the way back. Girl, put my eye mask on. Good night. It was a wrap. I woke up at the rest stop. So I got up at the rest stop. We took some pictures out there, and I think we had been riding for like 2 hours. I was like, oh, well, this was a great nap. I got up all, what are we doing? What's happening? And got to see the river. River looked amazing. So the rest of the trip, we were driving along the river's edge. So that was dope. Got out to the cruise, had some Georgian wine, good grief, had some Serbian wine on the cruise. Okay. Cruise was dope. Weather was nice. They talked to us, pointed out some stuff on the, you know, on the riverbanks or whatever for us to see. Some of it I remember, some of it I absolutely do not. We were dancing. They had food on the boat. Then we got off the boat, and then we went to a winery, walked around there. That winery was pretty dope. And there were other wineries there. So it's more like a wine fair. Sure. Then, since of course we're behind, they're like, oh, we really want you to see this medieval winemaking village, but it's now abandoned, kind of, and there's no electricity for real. But we gotta hurry because maybe we can get there. You know, we need it to be daylight. Well, we're like, yeah, let's go. Everybody hype. Yeah, we on the trip. Let's go. Bye. We get there. Okay, it's just like 1 kilometer. because we drive up and they're like, okay, the bus can't go any further. We got to walk it. It's like, oh, it's just like a kilometer. Okay, let's do it.
What's a kilometer? How many?
Or a kilometer is, Jesus.
Is it mile, half mile?
No, I got to look it up.
I don't know why it sounds long.
Well, just think like 5K is what? Like how many miles?
That long? Y'all had to walk that much?
Oh, not 5K, but like just think of like 1K to miles. Okay, sorry everybody listening to this. 0.62 miles. So.
Oh, okay. Well,
right. Here's the thing. So we like, oh yeah, no problem. Two things. Number one, whenever somebody's like, oh, it's about, they're lying. They don't know what it is. Two, they about to downplay whatever it is. Oh, it's about 1K. That really means it's about 3K for real.
Woo.
So we start walking. And we're like, okay, let's go. Yeah, we hike. It's starting to get dark. It's a couple of street lights. And then we're like, okay, then we get to a certain point and we start walking up a hill and then there are no lights. And when I say no lights, I mean there are legit no lights. Okay. So people turn their cell phones on and turn the flashlight on. So we walking up by a cell phone flashlight.
Oh my God.
And there's that. And we're like, oh, okay, I thought you said it was 1K. It was like, yeah. About another K from here. Another. I'm like, see, you guys are liars. Is what you are. You're liars.
Wow. They didn't even prepare y'all and have like flashlights and stuff. They should have bought picnic baskets, water, backpacks.
Everything.
It's a hike. It sounds like
and that is also a complaint I had about the trip as a whole. Whenever we were on the bus doing these tastings, like as soon as we got on the bus, they should have had a bottle of water for all of us to be able to, kind of have. Because since we were at the hotel, it's not like, oh, okay, well, let's just go in the kitchen and get a bottle. They don't really have bottled water, you know, just available like that. So that was definitely something that, they could have done different. So we're walking. When I tell you 98% of this hike was up a hill and curved, he's like, yeah, it's just around the bend. And I'm like, dude, we are still bending. Where is the other end of the bend? And he's like, oh, and then it has to bend the other way. I was like, see, I don't believe nothing you say for the rest of this trip. We done. It's the first night. It's our first outing.
And this is on the first night.
Well, no, that like our first day out, because the first night was Thursday night, but this is our Friday. So we keep walking up. We finally get up there. When I tell you, it is pitch black. Girl, we see nothing. So we got our cell phones out, like trying to light it up so we can see. We trying to see each other so we don't get lost.
Oh, no.
Let alone trying to see what we actually came up there to see. And at one point they're like, oh, well, we should go back. We're not gonna be able to see. Because some cars went up to go all the way up there. And then they came back and they're like, no, you really can't see. I'm like, well, y'all cars need to stay up there and turn your headlights on.
Yeah.
And then we can see stuff. They're like, yeah, you're not really gonna be able to see. You all should turn around. I said, I'm not turning around. We've walked this far.
How you gonna go all angry?
I'm just playing.
Angry black woman on the second.
I went angry black, but there was other people with me. They was like, no, we already came up this way. We about to see something. You need to show us something. Something has to be up here.
Okay.
And then they were also like, yeah, the people who were supposed to be up here, we don't see anybody. I'm like, all right, well, I'm walking ahead. And then I looked around like, well, let me make sure y'all walking too, because this is the opening scene of every horror movie I've ever seen in my life.
And you know we die first.
Listen, and then one of the girls like, and you know who died first, so you just walk in the middle, Tanisha. We just got to always make sure you in the middle. You can't be in the front. You can't be in the back. I was like, you're right, because we'll mess around and the jackal will run out and snatch me up and then take me to the back. Or that clown out of it. Like, who knows what's going to happen in here?
Like, explain it to your mother.
Right? No one will be happy about this. Oh. So, we get up to the top, see these, like, stone buildings that essentially look abandoned. It used to be a village where people actually live, but now they just store grapes there and store wine there. Oh, so that's why they don't, and they just need to do that during the daytime. So that's why they don't necessarily need light.
Keep talking. I'm gonna put my charger in. Keep talking.
So we stumble into this place And it's seemingly like no one's there. We have these oak barrels, and like a couple winemaking looking structures and a couple tanks and things like that. So this guy comes out, t-shirt, jogger pants, two little girls running by. We're like, is this really happening? What is going on? This dude starts pulling out jugs, like the equivalent of like plastic jugs, water bottle kind of thing. Y'all want to taste some stuff? So he starts pouring us this stuff out of jugs. When I tell you, I have a picture of him with so he takes one jug and pours it into a bottle and then starts pouring it. So I have a picture of him holding the bottle and holding his cigarette, talking to us about his wines. And I'm just standing there like,
in a jug.
So this is what's happening, huh?
Okay. All right.
I'm like, this might be, so this is Serbian moonshine is essentially what we're doing here. He pours us some rakia, which, yes, I was correct. It is absolutely Serbian moonshine. That's how it tastes. That's just what it was. And then he had some other wines that were, Would I walk up a mountain for them? No, I would not. I would not. And so then the organizer rallies the group, was like, all right, guys, this was fun. And so now we're off to another adventure. He's like, you got to see the cemetery. I was like, but do we have to see the cemetery? So at this point, people got to pee. So people are dipping off behind buildings.
Oh, God.
I'm like,
this sounds like a night hike. This is,
and Friday was the 13th. So I'm like, y'all leave the group if you wanna. I'm staying with the group in the middle. So then I hear somebody go, oh my God, the stars. And I'm like, what? Girl, I look up at the sky. I have never seen a sky with that many stars ever. Really? I don't know if it's just how much pollution we have or whatever. Like I ain't seen a star in Paris in forever.
Really?
But even in DC, you see like a couple sprinkle and one, two. I'm talking, this looked like I was in the planetarium.
Wow.
It was breathtaking. I looked up, I was like, oh my.
Did you get some pictures or some video or something?
No, because nothing could capture it. I was like, first of all, trying to find buttons on my phone. Again, it's dark. We using our light trying to just walk down the path. Because as starry as the sky was, I'm like, that's not helping us down here on the ground. We still don't know where we're going. So we get to this Friday the 13th cemetery. And it was actually where the winemakers and things from that village were buried. So super creepy place. An old cemetery, old to the point like some of the tombstones were kind of falling over. The ground wasn't all level. It was all hilly and stuff like that. So,
I never found that thing kind of fun. That was never my thing.
Girl, no. What?
But I go see loved ones and my dad and everything, but it's like that ain't fun. I'm not about to do that. No. Continue. It sounded like you had a good experience.
So it was just, the cemetery part wasn't like funny, but like funny of us trying to get there. Like this became a full-on adventure. So saw that, took some pictures. Then we took a group picture out there, and then we, cell phone flashlighted on our way all the way back down, and then had that 4-hour trip back to the hotel. And that was our first full day.
Wow.
Saturday was the conference, and so there were master classes in the conference, 4 different master classes, and then after that they had like a salon where they had a lot of different winemakers there. The conference was for Prokupac, which is the main grape of Serbia.
Okay.
It's a red grape.
Oh, okay. I was about to ask, was it red or white?
Yeah, it's a red grape called Prokupac. Prokupac.
Got it.
And this is something that they're just trying to get people to be more informed about, learn about, understand, that kind of thing. So the seminars were decent.
Okay.
I liked the salon. It did get overwhelming because it wasn't just conference people. It was something that was like advertised in the paper and things like that.
Oh, okay.
Now that was dope because it was at this gastro bar, which is like on the main kind of, not a main street, but a street that had like a lot of different bars and things there. So I walked up and down the street a little bit just to kind of see, and it was a Saturday night. I'm like, let's see what's going popping.
Right.
Let's see what's going on. So did that. Hung out with the people from the conference for a little bit, but then this little Serbian guy caught my eye. So hung out with him. We walked up and down the street a little bit, chatted. He knew a lot of the winemakers, so he was going behind there, dipping off, pouring me wine and stuff. So
yeah, Serbian Bay, I like it.
Right. Oh, I didn't send you the pic of Serbian Bay. I'll do that later.
Yes, I'm gonna need to see that.
Serbian Bay. Send you the pic of Serbian Bay. Here's the problem, though. Serbia is not a part of the EU, so like that's not about to help my status. So
sure, okay.
I'm like, I can't.
Okay.
But the thing with Serbian guys are tall and they're like solid.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like, you know, I always
when you say solid, you mean like football solid or like basketball solid?
Either, like, or both. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
They're not like, I mean, you've been to France. You know how these men are little.
Oh, they're tiny. Like, they're skinny.
Yeah, they're tiny. Yeah. They're short, and then they're like very slim.
Very. I got a thing. I used to have a thing. If your shoulders, I got broad shoulders for a girl. So if your shoulders were like slimmer than mine, I had a problem. I could do it.
If your shoulders are slim, period. I have a thing for broad shoulders. Broad shoulders are like a thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a slight deal breaker. Not as high as if your beard doesn't connect.
I can't stand you. So you think, wait, so if a dude beard don't connect, then just don't have one, just have a mustache and a goatee?
Yeah. Okay. But here's the thing, mustaches are so like older black men. Like I feel like you gotta be like a dad.
Okay.
Or like almost a granddad to just do mustache.
I think
like
the mustache and goatee is very basic black man. That's
mustache goatee. But if you just have a mustache,
that's granddad. That's granddad.
That's granddad. Yeah, you leaning in the granddad territory. You might not have a grandkid, but you like could. Like you're at the age where you could have a grandchild.
Yes, agreed. Totally agreed. Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking at you real fatherly, like not in
the
way that you want me to look at you. So there's
okay. Continue.
So that was that night. That was Saturday. Sunday we did more wineries. A couple of wine fairs. I'm doing a disservice by saying like a fair, but yeah, that's kind of what it was. We saw this dope church. Church of St. George, and then they have a royal winery behind it. So we saw that. We went to Despotica Winery, which was really nice, very modern. But then they also have like a wine museum in there.
Oh wow!
And so then that gave us a little bit of history of Serbian wine. That's something that I would have liked to have more of, like just the history of, you know, not just here, taste this. This is my wine. But a little more of the history of the winemaking, and then also like a little more history of the region.
You didn't get that from the masterclass?
No, the masterclass was a lot of just this is kind of what the grape is, and so it talked about the grape, but not necessarily about just the whole winemaking process, what they do different, what they really want us to know about them, that kind of thing. Okay. So that day didn't last as long because we had a gala dinner. That was on my IG story. Okay. Sunday night. So that was really cool, really nice. We dressed up a little. A little black dress. You know, did that. Okay. And then didn't hang out too late. I wanted to kind of hang out in the city a little bit to see, you know, what was popping, but I'm like not doing that by myself. Yeah. I have gotten weird as I've gotten older. Now when I used to travel when I was younger, I would just, you know, go out by myself, travel by myself, no big thing. Now I'll still travel by myself, but I'm a lot more leery about going out at night.
I don't think it's like weird. I think it's
by myself.
I don't think it's weird. I think it's aware. You're aware of your surroundings and what. Yeah. You don't take as many risks as you get older.
No, and then also like I stand out because like the guy that I was talking to when I went out the other night, you know, the whatever night that was. he just came in, he's like, no, look at you. He's like, we don't see many African Americans here, and it's not, you know, and so you stand out, you're different. You see people are gonna stop and stare. I'm like, I don't know if that's a good thing.
Right. Right.
And so I'm always conscious of that.
Sure.
Like out at night and drinking, and then people walk up like, oh, let me get you a drink. Oh, hang with us. Oh, so y'all can all roofie me, and then I wake up in some dark alley, wondering where my underwear and shoes and passport are. No.
Yeah.
And not saying that in a joking way, like being dead serious.
It's real shit.
Like I don't need to be you know, they don't still do people on the side of a milk cart, but like I don't need that to be my story.
Yeah.
I don't need to be on Up and Vanish podcast. Like that is not a life goal of mine. So the dinner was really nice. Went back to the hotel, stayed up, talking, drinking wine a little bit. What's today? Today's Tuesday. Oh gosh, so just yesterday. So yesterday they had they did natural wines, organic, orange wines. That was interesting. And it was at this really cute wine shop. I mean, they had uniforms that the men and women wore in the wine shop. Very sleek, very clean place. And by clean, I don't mean like other places are dirty, but just like very minimal white walls, you know, gray slate floors, wooden tables, and shelves that were the wine store. They had an amazing Serbian wine selection, and then also wines from other places in the world. Those are interesting to taste. I still don't know how I feel about orange wines and organic wines. So I think I have to taste a lot more.
Yeah, agreed.
I'm just like,
my supervisor at work actually likes orange wines.
Yeah. And there's this one girl, the girl who I was in the room with. Yeah, she's really big into orange wines because she promotes Georgian wines. And so she is big into them, very well versed in them. So she has tasted a lot more about it, so she can speak to it, knows what she likes, what she doesn't like. Because she actually came here a few months back, and we did a tour, and I took her to an organic place, and she tasted a few organic wines and enjoyed them. So I don't know if I'm committed enough to just start seeking them out more and like just be like, okay, let me just taste this. I mean, I might do that, and like might do a series on organic wines, biodynamic wine, and what it's all about.
So if I asked you, what are Serbian wines like? What other wine region would you compare them to?
Oh, that's the thing. You can't compare it to nothing.
No, none.
It's just different.
Okay.
It's way different. Because the climate is different. The soil is different. I will say they do have a few like native indigenous varietals, like Prokopots. Tajmanica was another one. They have another one that I'm not going to try to pronounce. But then they also do a lot of regular international varietals. Cab Sauvignon Merlot. Cab Franc. Riesling. Sauvignon Blanc. They had this one Sauvignon Blanc. Oh my goodness. I was like, I want to check my bag so I can buy this wine. And you know how I feel about Sauvignon Blanc.
Hold on now.
Right. Wow. Exactly.
Did you at least get a picture of this? Because I need to see this.
I didn't, but I know what it is. It was Zaynab. I had to look it up. And whenever they posted pictures on the Wine Lover site, I'll point you in that direction or whatever. But yeah, that one.
What was so different about the Sauv Blanc that made you like it? Because you don't like Sauv Blanc.
It was slightly oaked. So you know how I feel about oak flavors. That toned down a lot of the citrus and grassy notes.
Okay.
So you still got a bit of the citrus, but then it smoothed it out with like a little smoke on there.
Okay. Yep. That's different.
And also their wines aren't expensive. Their wines might have been like €7 to €15.
Wow. Okay.
Like not that bad at all. We did one tasting at a place. We had 7 wines, like a seated tasting, and did 7 wines. They had like meat and cheeses out. That was cool. We started with a sparkling. So that's always gonna win with me.
Well, how was the sparkling?
That sparkling was interesting. It was a rosé. What does it taste? Does it taste like anything you've had before? No.
Okay.
They don't age it as long as champagne. So there's that. It also lacked a little bit of the fresh fruit I'm used to in sparkling wines.
All right.
And I think they might be the only place that does sparkling, or one of the few.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But it was nice to taste. It was a nice way to start. Their winery was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
We got to walk out in the vineyard, take some pictures. That picture I posted on IG yesterday, that's from their vineyard.
Okay.
Because the leaves are changing. Excuse me, the leaves are changing color. So just beautiful place. So like final thoughts on Serbia. Go. That isn't some place that would have been on my list to be like, oh yeah, well, let's just go to Serbia for the weekend. Like that words that would never come out of my mouth. But to be able to go and taste their wines, to hear about them on this level, not just like, oh, let me just taste these, but to have people actually speaking like, okay, this is my winery, this is my family, taste this.
Yeah.
You know, that was good.
Right.
So now if I see them, that's something that I wouldn't be like, oh, what's this? No, it's something I would try. And a lot of these regions have to start somewhere as far as promoting themselves, like wines of Hungary. But now Hungarian wines are a thing, and it's not just Tokaj.
Oh, absolutely.
So, you know, Montenegro has wines, Serbia, Romania,
Turkey.
Bosnia, Turkey, like, and promote these things. Also, due to some of the laws and things like that, that makes it a little more difficult as far as like promotion. You're talking language barriers, and then also where they're going to send them. Anything in Europe is tough because it's like, what, you sending them to France? No, France not buying them. You're not sending them to Italy, you're not sending them to Spain. So they're kind of just contained within Eastern Europe.
Right.
And they don't have the amount available to send to the States. So they have to figure out their place in the world.
Yeah.
So that's something that I would like to explore more as far as their promotion of it within their region, how they talk about it, things like that. Sommeliers, if they pour it. It was cool to be, and that's why it was cool to have that tasting in the wine shop. Yeah. Because we really got to see that, okay, we're seeing shelves and shelves of Serbian wine.
That's what's up.
So that means that they can buy it in the region. So
guys, really quick, this is how we study wine, and this is how we expand our palate. And it's like, it's almost like a 2-for-1, because winemakers and countries and wine regions can invite us to taste their wines. We get educated and they get promotion out of us. So that's kind of how it works. That's kind of how it works for us. And was this considered a press trip, Tanisha?
No, it wasn't. It was just a trip organized by wine people. And I won't say it's a trip for wine people, but definitely you want to be into wine at a certain level. So you have to be like a big wine enthusiast or in the industry.
Yeah. And we've talked about this before. When you go on these trips, they have something assigned to you from the time that you land, from the time that you leave. So it's not like you just going on vacation. You're studying the wine, you're taking notes, you're taking pictures, you're absorbing the entire wine region. So that's kind of what they looked for us for. So
and so we got people out there that's like major photographers that like got trading out lenses, just like, okay, hold on, I gotta got full telescopes. This dude had this long pole that he had connected his camera. I think he was the actual photographer for the trip though, so I'm not gonna get on him too bad. And he was taking like group photos of us and things like that, and then like some candid shots. I was trying to do video as often as I could. I need to do a little more practicing of you know, being able to get in, get some videos done. Whether it be a microphone, a headset, a tripod would have been helpful to set that up.
Sure. Yeah.
Because you know, sometimes you had somebody your phone be like, "Hey, take this picture." They take it, and you're like, "Okay, so thank you for these 5 blurry pics that I can't use anywhere."
Ciao.
It's like, do you not? It's like you don't even like me. Why are you taking this? Like, you clearly don't like me, because why would you take this photograph like this?
You know, it's getting so bad that sometimes, even Alan, sometimes I'm taking a picture with my girls or something, and we're doing a selfie, and he'll be like, "Well, y'all want me to take it?" Who? Not that he takes bad pictures, because he has a good eye, but he's not going to get the angle that we're going to get if we take it ourselves.
Yeah.
So it's it's kind of vain, but it's yet not. I don't know.
Listen, you gotta listen. Because I know I was in a wine shop taking all kind of selfies. They had mirrors at the end of the table. So I'm selfieing in the mirror. I'm turning around in between the I'm like, dang, if somebody else could take a good picture of me, I would get them this camera. Because this would be like a dope blog post, me just pose it in front of a bunch of wine. So what I'm gonna have to do now is, it gave me an idea, and I'm gonna just store pose it in the wine aisle. Is what's gonna happen. And just have like a full photo shoot. Just be in there real quick.
Listen, wherever there is good lighting. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I need it to be in like a high ceiling, like with a bunch of wine. I'm like, this is a dope one. And so what's funny is this, I actually took more pictures of myself, did more selfies, or had people take pictures of me than I usually do. Usually I'm like, no, just get this bottle, just get this. But I'm trying to incorporate more the lifestyle of it into my writing, into my blog posts and things like that. Like trying to make this more like not just me drinking, making it more of a lifestyle thing. Like, okay, if you go to a region to visit, check out a winery, go to a wine bar. This is what it's like. That's why I like taking these trips and presenting it this way. Like for our panel next month, that's the kind of thing that we'll be talking about as far as during our video. Not just what does this wine taste like, which clearly we need to know that, but you know, your senses are going to be different depending on where you taste the wine anyway. Like the wines that I liked while we were at the wine fair at the winery, had I bought bottles and then brought them back home and drank them at home, calm, just myself, not in a group of people, they're actually going to taste different.
Yeah, they are.
Wine taste has to do with your surroundings and things like that. So that's something that you have to take in consideration too.
And I mean, and it can be the other way around too, because I wrote a blog post years ago where I think it was titled "The Moment Matters," but this was way back when I was taking the WSET, but the moment does matter, because back then Joan Rivers was still alive, and I was watching Fashion Police on most Fridays, and my thing was I would have sparkling wine, and I was really attached to this sparkling wine, and it was called Beautiful. It's, you know, Cava. And I would sit in front of on my couch and watch Fashion Police every Friday, and I was I was in love with this sparkling wine. But this one particular day, I took it to a girlfriend's house, and it was 4 of us, and she's got 2 dogs, and one girl's got a baby, and everybody's talking and hitting about their life and their grapes and da da da. And my wine was there. I drank it. We all drank it, but I didn't remember it. I didn't notice it. Then I was like, oh, shit, was the bottle different? Because I don't even remember going through those bottles of rosé that I bought. Then my next Friday, I got my same old wine. And lo and behold, it was the same taste, but there were distractions. There were so many distractions that day that I couldn't taste the wine. And this is the truth. It happens. Your mood matters.
Yeah, your mood matters. Your senses are different depending on what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So if you were to, if one of your homegirls said, hey, so I'm going to Serbia for work. I'm going to be there for a week, 3 days, whatever. What should I do? Was there a highlight in your trip that I should check out?
I would say what they should do is hit up that. I'd have to look to see what the name of that street is, but like that area was lively. Where we had our where we had the little salon. That area was lively, super cute. Now that Cobblestone, I complained about the Cobblestone in France. No, there's no chance I would ever be able to wear heels. Like my ankles would be about this big because I would be regularly breaking them, and then they would be healing up. And girls is out there walking in heels too. I was like,
nah. Well, I learned that in college because most of Morgan is Cobblestone, and that girl, once your ankle turn, you go like boop.
Right,
No.
that's it.
No, that's it.
It's a wrap.
Yep.
So yeah, I would tell them to go to that street or by where the main statue is. The man on the horse is what they say they call it. The man on the horse. Just like walk around from there. Because when we did that tour, it was a Thursday, and I was really surprised at how many people were out. I'm like, is it because the weather is nice? It's a lot of people just out and about, and like not and like chilling, not like okay, we're coming from work, because it was like 7.
Okay.
Like they were out commuting or anything like that. No, they were like they were sitting places, they were on benches, they were in parks, they were doing all of that. It was a thing.
Wow.
So yeah.
Well, all right.
Yeah, I would say over there, because there were some definite cute places in there. I was like, oh wow, I want to hang out. Like I would have liked to stay an extra day or have a free night where we could have done a little something on our own. And usually on these kind of trips I do, but since I'm taking the time off next month, I'm like, don't really have the time now to take and stay a little, stay over. So there's that.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. But no, I would definitely say that they have it's a lively atmosphere. The people were nice. But also I'm probably in a bubble because they were catering to the people there on my trip.
Right, exactly.
And I didn't feel uncomfortable. Like I didn't see anyone else who looked like me, of course, but I didn't feel uncomfortable. It wasn't like, oh wait, everybody's staring. I didn't feel like that. And I have felt that way in places.
Yeah.
They were all staring, like not in a weird way, but just like a wow. Can I touch you?
Okay.
And when I saw the one black guy, he was just like, hey, how's it going? What's happening? And I'm like, hello. I'm leaving. I'm not here. So, you don't have to worry about me.
Oh my God.
Like, we can coexist in this place. It's fine. Because, some black people need to be the only black person. They live off the fact that
I'm well aware. I am well aware of that. Absolutely. Well, guys, that pretty much wraps up our show. Tanisha, thank you for sharing your Serbia experience. That was really interesting. Great. Yeah, I'm very curious now. I'm very curious.
So also, real talk, like I'll let you know when they always do a trip in October. So that's something that you might want to look into, because they're very well put together. Now I will say, like, you are a planner, so you're gonna have to work through that, because you're not about to know a whole bunch of information. Like you're just gonna know what day you need to arrive somewhere.
Okay.
And what day to leave. But filling in the middle part, you're gonna have to wing it.
Got it. Got it.
So there's that. But there's some really cool people that come. There's a few people from the States. This is mostly a European crowd. Of course. But the thing that's interesting is it's a big expat European crowd. So like a lot of people live in Europe now, but like we're expats. We are Americans who live over there, or Brazilians. Oh, and this I didn't mention. Being around this crowd reminds me that I only speak one language, and makes me want to work even that much harder about the whole French thing. Because when I tell you, I'm talking to this one girl, so talking to her in English, and then she's talking to a friend of hers in Spanish, and I was like, oh, okay. And then you live where now? She's like, oh, Germany. I'm like, oh, cool. Something like that's German, Spanish, and English. She was like, yeah, and I'm Brazilian, so I'm like, okay, so you speak Portuguese? She was like, yeah, and right. So yeah, she's like, Portuguese, that's my first language. I was like, oh, okay, so you speak that. And she's like, she's like, oh, and then French and Italian. I was like,
my God, that's wow.
She speaks 6 languages fluently. I heard her speaking Portuguese, Spanish, German, and English on the trip.
Yeah. Wow.
Another girl from Brazil. I'm like, so y'all just have a thing for languages in Brazil. And she lives in Germany also, so of course fluent German. And then she also mentioned French, Italian. And the trip is in English, so you got to speak English. And then there were people, one Romanian guy was like, oh, French, huh? Then he started speaking to me in French. I'm like, Dag, so you know Romanian, you know French, you know English. And I'm like, listen, if y'all speak to me in anything outside of English and slow French, you're not getting answers out of me. And people would have all these side conversations, like on the bus when we were walking, you know, in their languages. I'm just like, wow, like it fascinates me. It's not like I'm a jerk and just like, oh, speak English. It's an English trip. No, like, because some people actually do get annoyed. I'm like, no. Like, if I had a child or children, like, they would have to know another language just because you.
I know a few kids are in immersion programs, and one of my friends, he's actually in a Chinese immersion class. Oh, I'm sorry, program where he competes in China. And he's black. He's a black. I mean, most of my friends are black. You know, but but yeah, it's a thing. You have to ask, like, what is it? Oh, I need to do better. I know. It's too much going on.
Girl, or not.
Yeah. So
whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just amazed at like these languages just flowing off people's tongue, and I'm hearing them speaking in different languages. Not even just like, okay, got it. Everybody here speak English. Fine. But then I would hear them speak their native tongue because they would always be from somewhere else. And then I'd hear them speak in another language also. So we're talking people had, I mean, outside of the Americans, people had a minimum of 2 languages. At the minimum 2.
Wow. And you know, don't they claim that English is the hardest language to learn?
It's not.
It's not.
I mean, and some people try to say that it's not, because there are a lot of people who said they picked up English from like watching television. Now they're not. When you pick English up that way, you can have a conversation and you're learning spoken English. You're not learning the real rules, so you can tell how someone learned English. How they speak it. You're just ripping up these tenses. You're just not gonna worry about. Okay. It's just some things.
Well, you told me when your mom was a teacher, and I was like, oh, I know she recognized all my errors in my posts.
But I mean, I don't think about it. I'm only just a real stickler for language when it's written. Like when you talk, like if you're just talking casually, it's fine. Like when I present, I speak an entirely different way than say I do on this podcast.
Sure, we all do.
When I write, that joint is correct.
Yeah.
So I get mad if I say.
So, question on this panel: what is this going to be casual, or are we going to be like professional?
This is going to be a little bit of both. I mean, I'm going to be the professional one, but you know, like my casual always like slips out. It's always going to be a little. So listen,
always. I mean, we're black women. It's all our casual is all. I know you're going to ask me a question. I'm going to be like, girl, what?
Right. What needs to happen is.
Oh man. By the way, listeners, I'm going to try to record our panel when we go to the Wine Blogs conference in November. I'm going to try my best to record that so we can post it on the podcast, because I'm sure it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, or at the very least, you know, we'll do a debrief after and talk about the panel and the comments. I'm interested in like what the questions and things will be, like what kind of stuff people will be asking. And then also we have a couple of wild cards on the panel. So who knows what they'll say? Like we'll throw a question out there and they might be like, all right, so for breakfast this morning I had. We'll be like, not sure I asked you that. But that's kind of the cool thing about our group that's on the panel is it's not going to be, when we do our videos or when we do our social media, it isn't just how it tastes. It is about wine and your life. And I think that's really how you have, and I say this literally all the time, but I think that's how you have to present wine. It's not as exciting to look at or photograph as food is. It doesn't have that same emotion in you just to see it. So you need to see it in the context of something else. Just seeing a vineyard, you're not hyped. But if you see me standing between some leaves holding a glass of wine and the leaves are starting to change colors, now you're like, oh wow, where is that? That's amazing. But I mean, you show me a bowl, a plate of cookies and some milk, I'm hype.
Just like, for instance, I'm doing this event on Friday, and they're the yoga studio that I used to do business with, they are calling it club bar. So it's not like bar like we drink at, it's the bar like ballet bar. So they're gonna do like sort of like an immersion exercise ballet bar class, and then they do like a little happy hour after. So no, Ivy City is popping now, and the yoga studio yoga studios in Ivy City. So I'm gonna do 2 wines and a cocktail. So now I'm trying to figure out, I'm trying to get all fancy with the shaker and stuff. I'm like, girl, if you don't calm down and just figure it out, just keep it just team too much all the time. But you know, just to do something different, because wine can be very monotonous. It can, you know, so we'll see.
And sometimes I wonder if like it was done that way so it would only be for certain people.
Yeah.
Or
yeah, I know.
But yeah, sometimes a wine I'm like, that's boring. Like I've looked at some stuff and be like, wow, that is boring.
That's why, I mean, that's why we're attracted to people who have personalities in wine, because I mean, if you're just think about all the studying that we've done and all the videos and the lectures and the classes and everything. I mean, it can be a, you know, snooze fest. So, you know,
girl, it's been something. I've been like, wow, this should be good, but man, I'm about to take a nap.
I'm telling you.
There are certain topics that I'm fascinated by. Like I am, you know, I love glassware in all shapes and sizes. So I'm fascinated by any kind of glassware class or glassware session. It just fascinates me. If I had, you know, if I was with my actual stuff that was in storage, then I would have definitely done a few videos on how things taste different. But they did a session with Rito. Rito was one of the sponsors for the Prokopots Day. And then they did a session they poured it in 4 different style glasses. And just to see how it looked different. You could feel how it tasted different. Like you feel it in different places on your mouth, depending on the glass. It smells different depending on what glass you have.
Even the last tasting at the embassy that I went to, it was Tokai, and they had their own glass specifically for Tokai. So that they were really nice. Really nice.
And so Rito has like 1 trillion glasses. Girl, they got a Coca-Cola glass. I'm like,
what?
Coca-Cola could be,
you know,
listen, Coca-Cola could be in this plastic cup. Is what it could be.
Okay.
Coca-Cola's made for a red cup. But I did a tasting with Rito here with a lady that owns a wine shop, and we put cold water in the glass. And the cold water feels different in your mouth depending on what glass you use. That's how you know it isn't just a bunch of crap. Like, it's really cold water. You put it in there, you swirl it, then you taste it. It feels different in your mouth.
Okay. All right.
And I felt it. I'm like, okay, so this is not a crocker, you know, whatever. So if you have different shaped glasses at home, like try it. Like it needs to be cold water. Like warm water, not gonna work.
And it doesn't even have to be glasses, because when I was studying years ago, we compared a plastic cup, a paper cup, a tumbler, like a regular old water tumbler, and an actual wine glass. And the wine tasted different in all of them. So it does matter. Does matter. Absolutely.
Glasses matter.
Yes, they do.
So sorry, I know we said we were signing off, but we have more to say. So
well, anybody, thanks for joining the Swirl Suite. See you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.